Tighnari, chief protector of the Avidya forest and one sassy little bitch. Clad in the colours of wood, tree and flower, Tighnari is surrounded at all times by natural life, determined even in fashion sense to put the forest in Forest Watcher. In this video we're going to discuss Tighnari's outfit design, analyse the cultural inspirations behind it, and how these elements relate to his own characterisation and purpose within the world of Teyvat. Quick disclaimer before we get started, these are just a collection of observations I found and pieced together. I'm by no means stating anything as fact. Well then, let's get started with some background on Tighnari's real-life inspiration. Tighnari was a botanist, physician and author, born in the year 1075 into a family of noble Arab lineage in a small Spanish village near Granada. His most notable work was a 12-chapter portion of a journal titled something I'll post on screen for fear of butchering the pronunciation, but it roughly translates to The Flowers of Garden and Intellect. This work detailed botanical species that were used in Andalusian agronomic science and cultivated in the Iberian Peninsula. It also provided insight into agricultural techniques that were developed and tools that were used. This figure is likely who Tighnari got his name from. A scholarly botanist with a well-renowned passion for documenting scientific knowledge that could benefit later generations' conservation efforts. I was initially surprised to discover that the figure who inspired Tighnari comes from Spain, but upon further research it actually makes a lot of sense. I mentioned earlier that Tighnari was born near Granada. This area is located at the foothills of a mountainous area in the south of Spain. Granada's most famous landmark is a Moorish palace called La Alhambra, boasting some of the most beautiful gardens in an area known for very hot, dry weather most of the year. The reason I'm bringing up La Alhambra is to speak about the concept of the Paradise Garden. This concept originates in the Middle East, where gardens and water were regarded as the source of life in the hot, dry climates of the region, along with reflecting the divine. This description is outlined in many written works, including the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh. Another side note, Sumeru likely gets its name from the earliest known civilization known as Sumer, located in Mesopotamia, which in today's world is home to the regions of Iraq, Kuwait, Syria and Turkey. Muslim texts describe paradise as a series of gardens, frequently mentioning water and various plants and flowers. Some plants mentioned in these texts had religious significance, such as myrtle, palm, cypress, olive, pomegranate, fig and grape. Paradise gardens often incorporated plants for medicinal use. Some were used for decorative purposes also, such as citrus fruit trees, lavender, roses, violets and lilies. A lovely mix of smells there. This leads us back to our precious Dendro boy and his outfit. Tighnari has a gold earring on his right ear that is intricately carved in the shape of 3 dangling leaves. His outfit consists of a cropped navy blue hoodie with black strings and purple and green details. A large yellow flower adorns his right side and a silver badge with a green tassel on his left side. The left sleeve of his hoodie is short, stopping just above the elbow, while the right sleeve is tight and reaches his wrist. The right side of his hoodie also has a long piece of pleated white fabric with a colourful pattern. He wears large gauntlet-like gloves with orange palms and fingertips, likely a nod to his foxy appearance. Under this, Tighnari wears a long white tunic with a thick purple belt with turquoise and purple ropes and other multicoloured trinkets attached, along with a large purple pocket on one side and 2 round pins where his dendrovision hangs. He wears a pair of calf-length pants with a pleated navy blue and red design and laced white and blue boots with green stripes. He also sports a green half cape attached to a large gold trinket on his back. All I can say is he's a fan artist's worst nightmare. Before we get into some of the cultural influences behind his outfit, I'd like to take a few moments to speak about the colours used for his design. From Tighnari's outfit we can generate a colour palette which looks something like this. We can see 2 distinct palettes here, one with complementary muted earthy tones, and on the other end we have contrasting bright jewel tones. On first look, a lot of people thought his design was a bit messy or all over the place. I'll be honest, I too was one of those people when I first laid eyes on Tighnari's splash art, but once you get a chance to digest this colour palette a little bit, along with all the other elements of his design that we'll be discussing, there is a lot to discover about it which fits in beautifully with his characterisation. There are hues of navy blue throughout his whole outfit, which appears to be the most dominant colour. Navy blue typically represents traits such as trust and stability. There is a red stripe on his pants and tunic, which to me looks like the shade vermilion. Vermilion is used in some cultural ceremonies, often representing marriage, but it also has significance as the colour of life and eternity. We can see accents of a muted shade of green on his hoodie, namely sage green, which of course has significance in Sumeru's academia. This colour represents wisdom and intelligence. On the palms and fingertips of his gloves, which we'll be looking at in more detail a bit later in the video, a burnt orange colour can be seen. While orange typically symbolises feelings of confidence and warmth, burnt orange often symbolises negative emotions, such as pride or aggression. Pretty accurate for Tighnari's character and the way he interacts with others, don't you think? Moving on to the brighter end of the palette, there are differently shaded accents of purple scattered throughout Tighnari's outfit, along with some turquoise embellishments. Purple shades hold meanings of creativity, wisdom, and independence. Turquoise is regarded as a spiritually powerful colour, representing tranquility, protection, and, you guessed it, wisdom. Finally, there is one more colour in Tighnari's design which immediately draws attention, the big yellow flower pinned to his chest. While yellow is typically known for evoking happy and youthful feelings, it also denotes imagery of the sun and can be considered a symbol of strength. This flower led me down another rabbit hole while I was researching, and ties in nicely with the Paradise Garden concept we spoke about earlier. I was curious to see if this yellow flower was inspired by a flower in real life, and I was not disappointed. Since Sumeru is most likely based on Sumer, located in Mesopotamia, which spans across the territories of a few Middle Eastern countries today, I looked up yellow flowers native to those regions, as well as North Africa. The very first result I found was a flower called the Rosa persica. Doesn't this look like an almost exact match of Tighnari's flower? The colourway, the size, the shape of the petals. This made me wonder, could each of the colours scattered throughout his outfit be matched to a flower native to those parts of the world, constructing its very own paradise garden? Along with the Rosa persica, the Bahrain sunflower has similarities to Tighnari's decorative flower. This flower symbolises long life, good luck, and vitality. Perhaps he keeps one on him as a good luck charm of sorts. It is, however, more likely due to the sunflower's stems and roots being used for medicinal purposes, treating illnesses such as malaria, among others. Once you take the stems and roots away, you're left with the flower, which can be used as a decoration. Waste not, want not, right, Tighnari? The blue lotus, native to Egypt, is almost certainly the inspiration behind the Nilad Pala lotus, native to Sumeru. This lotus, which notably blooms at night, is regarded as a sacred flower, symbolising creation and rebirth. The Moroccan wild rose is a fragrant wildflower which has a dedicated festival associated with it. The Valley of Roses in this region boasts an abundance of these flowers, along with fruit trees producing figs, dates, and pomegranates, fruits that were significant in religious texts about paradise gardens that we mentioned earlier. Myrtle flowers are part of the larger Myrtaceae family, known for producing valuable spices used for food and medicine, including cloves, allspice, and eucalyptus. The foliage is also fragrant and filled with essential oils, which can also be used for medicinal purposes. Cypress flowers grow on vines and are sometimes called the hummingbird vine. They have a rich vermilion colour and have many medicinal uses. Are we seeing a trend here yet? This plant can be distilled and inhaled as a treatment for headaches. It also has antibacterial and antioxidant properties. The final flower I'd like to mention is one of my personal favourites, lavender. Lavender is widely known for its calming properties, representing feelings of serene silence. While we already discussed the significance of the colour purple, the shade of purple seen in lavender flowers is often associated with the crown chakra, which is known as the energy centre, denoting spiritual connectivity and a sense of higher purpose. Lavender has been used for thousands of years across many cultures in medicine, aromatherapy, and decoration. Wild lavender flowers can also be seen in the deserts of northern Saudi Arabia after heavy winter rains. This phenomenon often invokes feelings of motivation and a more positive outlook for the seasons ahead. By now, it's easy to say that Tighnari's design encompasses a melting pot of different influences. The same can be said about where his clothing items come from in the real world. I stumbled upon a post in the Tighnari main subreddit which points out the similarities between his outfit and traditional Kabylie fashion from Algeria. Traditional garments from North African and Middle Eastern regions can represent spiritual connections with family, religion, ethnicity, and the land. Fashion from these regions is used as a way of conveying identity and ancestry. Every garment and piece of jewellery is worn for a symbolic reason and represents a deep connection with the culture. Some examples of this notion in Tighnari's outfit that spring to mind are his earring and the logo seen on his hoodie. The gold earring has 3 small leaves dangling from it. Throughout ancient history, men would wear gold or silver earrings, typically as a show of monetary wealth or status. I think in Tighnari's case, this earring could be a representation of a different type of wealth, the leaves conveying the richness of the forest he works tirelessly to protect and the sense of accomplishment this grants him. The green logo printed on his hoodie is his constellation, Vulpes Zerda. This image is deeply rooted in his ancestry, the Velukashuna race from the deserts in Sumeru. The logo is, like we mentioned earlier, a sage green colour, representing wisdom. the wisdom of the nation of Sumeru, and the wisdom he holds passed down from generations before him. The belt around Tighnari's waist is similar to the belt seen on traditional Kabylie dresses. These are typically worn by women and have practical uses as well as aesthetic. A pouch can be formed at the top of this belt, which is used for storing items. A multitude of colourways, patterns, and embellishments, such as ropes or tassels, can be seen on these belts, and they're normally made from materials like wool and silk. Going back to his hoodie again, it's likely inspired by a jalaba, a traditional Moroccan garment that is loose-fitting, hooded, and often adorned with beading and elaborate stitching. The hood is worn as protection against strong winds and the sun. His pants look like a typical pair of harem pants, or traditional sarul pants, which were first worn by Turkish and Persian nobility in the Ottoman Empire, later becoming part of North African traditional garments. They are loose-fitting legs, cuffed close to the knee, promoting airflow and comfort in high temperatures. Notice how every clothing item he wears serves a practical purpose as well as being stylish? Very fitting of his character in my opinion. His boots need to be very practical as well, of course. They appear to be drawn more from contemporary examples worn by forest rangers. Laced, waterproof hiking boots help him trudge through the wetlands of Sumeru more efficiently. The last piece of Tighnari's outfit I'd like to speak about are his gloves. This led me down an unexpected path while researching. As we know, Tighnari is an archer. During research for this video, I knew in the back of my mind somewhere that I had seen pictures of archers wearing thick, gauntlet-like gloves, and my memory served correctly. The pictures I was thinking of were of Kyudo archers. Kyudo is a traditional form of archery from Japan. These archers wear a glove made of deer skin called a yukage. The left sleeve of their tunic will often be removed before they shoot to avoid any interference with their shooting form. This could be why Tighnari has one short sleeve on his hoodie. In some cases, a yukage has a hardened piece on the thumb and forefinger with a pre-made groove used to pull the bowstring. There are other varieties of these gloves depending on an archer's skill level or shooting style, along with the size and weight of the bow they use. This caught my eye in relation to Tighnari because the fingertips on his gloves appear to be made of a different substance from the rest of the glove. This may be for assisting him with shooting or foraging medical supplies in the Avidya forest. The palm of his glove is the same colour, making the inside of his glove look like a paw print. Of course, this is probably to convey his foxy appearance. I thought this was extremely cute the first time I noticed it. All in all, Tighnari's outfit is an eclectic representation of Sumeru's cultural influences, along with his own personal characteristics. Every item of clothing he wears serves a purpose, even the flashier embellishments. Researching the colour theory behind each element really warmed my heart as well. It pieces together all the parts of his personality we've grown to love. As for my own thoughts, I absolutely adore this character, if that wasn't painfully obvious already. I really have a soft spot for an intelligent, sassy bitch. His stern but compassionate nature and the way he shows love to others around him through his actions is something I carry through my own life as well. When I first pulled for him on his banner in 3.0, I fell in love with his design more and more every day. It felt like I had something new to look at and admire each time. Well, that's gonna be it from me this time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun researching for it, and I definitely plan on making similar videos for other characters down the line. Quickly, I just want to say a huge thank you to my friend Andy for designing the thumbnail for this video as well. I really struggle with that kind of thing, so the help is really appreciated. I've linked his art page in the description of this video so you can check out his stuff. Well guys, thanks so much for watching, and be sure to let me know your thoughts down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you want, it's much appreciated. You can keep up with video updates on my Twitter linked below as well. Hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!